Let me
Random facts.
let me go into some of the pre-show notes here. So we have Nikki here. Nikki, so your company that you work for does neural manifestation workshops.
Mm-hmm.
So what you kind of described it a little bit, but what does that mean? Like when you say manifestation?
Yeah, so basically manifestation is just being more consciously aware of what you're attracting into your life. We're all manifesting, whether we're consciously aware of it or not. Like everything that we attract within our life, we are manifesting, but our practice helps you bring awareness, conscious awareness to that, so you can be just more intentional with what you're calling in and can more like kind of create the life that you're wanting. And then we have workshops that help you reprogram your subconscious mind. So they're like guided meditations that will take you back to specific memories where you can give yourself a healing. And then we have different journal prompts to work through where you can really notice like different patterns throughout your life, different cycles, and then you can kind of take specific actions to move forward.
So, do you mind if I ask you a few questions about this?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to be blunt and honest,
Yeah.
right? I'm not good at mincing words. I think all of that's total bullshit. But to be fair, to dive in on it, when you say manifesting, are you talking about the laws of attraction?
No.
So then what does manifesting mean?
Well, so do you know what the law of attraction is? Okay. Yeah. So
I thought you said it doesn't pertain to that.
Well, so the law of attraction is all about thinking positive and like more so like getting into the vibration of what you want.
Law of attraction is just like attracts like. So
Like
if you have
attracts
if you have negative thoughts, you're going to attract negative things. If you have positive thoughts, you're going to attract positive things.
Yeah, exactly. So like their whole thing is if you think positively, you'll attract positively. Or if you're like attracts like, so your vibration is going to attract the vibration. We don't teach that. We haven't really seen that works or is effective. My boss
based on rigorous scientific study.
just with working with people. So the founder of the company, Lacey Phillips, she's really into energetics, and she notices a lot of themes, and she's worked with hundreds of
Can you
clients.
explain to people what energetics are?
So, well, her kind of version of it is just literally paying attention to how people react in different situations and how they do call in certain things. So like energetics would just be the energy of how everything is like coexisting together.
What is this energy made up of, does Lacey think?
I don't know. She's never actually specifically said.
Never said what the energy is made up of, but it's there.
It's there.
And it's definitely interacting with stuff.
It's definitely interacting with stuff.
But we don't know what the hell it is, right? It's...
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not the
invisible.
one who, developed these methods, so I can't speak more further into it. But we have had neuroscientists work with us. They've helped us develop the workshops, and based on their studies and research too, have found this to
What kind
be
of
effective.
neuroscientists?
Have you ever heard of Dr. Tara Swart?
No.
She's a psychologist and neuroscientist. We've also worked with...
Well, you know that there's a lot of psychologists who call themselves neuroscientists, but don't have any type of degree in neurology whatsoever. They just say, I'm a psychologist and I'm a neuroscientist, because it's so vague that you can call yourself a neuroscientist, even though you have no degrees whatsoever in neurology, which is that's what comes to mind, right? Is that, oh, I'm a doctor of neurology. That's what people would think when you say neuroscientist, right? Isn't that what you would think?
Yes, absolutely.
But that's not the case. A lot of them say I'm a neuroscientist, and they have no degrees whatsoever, no MDs, or whatever the requirements are for neurology. So just saying neuroscientist, I'm always very skeptical. I've noticed that they usually have bachelors of not science, but bachelors of art, a Bachelor of Art degree in psychology.
She definitely is more credentialed than that. I can't remember because it's been like 4 or 5 years since we've worked with her, but she helped us sort of develop and review our first sort of set of workshops. But I get why you're skeptical. I really do. And I understand there's a lot of...
That's old occultism, right? So this is not new. The church that I belong to has been studying the alternative occults, everyone from saints to, I mean, this is
What church do you belong to?
I'm an Eastern Orthodox Christian. So anyway, I mean, they've been looking at it forever, and this is because in the East there was a lot of occult practices there too, right? But this is old.
It is, yes.
old occultism. But I just had a couple more questions if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we're not sure what these energies are made of, right? There's just some energies, but let me ask you something. If you were to manifest a thing, can you tell me how that doesn't interfere with free will?
So what do you mean exactly?
Well, if you're going to manifest a thing, let's say I wanted a bicycle, right? I really wanted a bicycle and I manifested it.
Yeah.
Somebody has to build the bike. Somebody has to put it together. Someone has to deliver it, right? Someone has to do all of those things. So if I normally would not have gotten said bike.
Well, what if you were like manifesting a specific bike and you like had all of these details laid out and you wanted like this old school bike, and then you were just like walking down the street one day and you saw one by a dumpster, not locked up, whatever, and it's just exactly what you had been calling in.
That still would have to necessarily influence free will. It still had to have gotten by the dumpster, still had to be built. All those things still had to happen for that to come.
What if it's not? I feel like it's not. Okay.
Hang on.
Okay.
For that to come to me by me manifesting it, that means I have set in the energy, a series of events which necessarily would have to affect people's free will in order for that to manifest in front of me. There's literally no way around that. It would be impossible for other humans to not be influenced by the mysterious energies of my will.
I don't know. I don't personally agree with that because I feel like you're just sort of aligning with what already exists. So I don't think that it's necessarily going against someone's free will. But
okay. So explain this to me then. Let's think about that bike example you gave. We've got a bicycle and it has all sorts of little intricate details, right? Somebody had to create all of that, didn't they?
Yeah, but it's already created.
Wait, it was created before you manifested it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you can only manifest things which already are?
Well, I think it's a lot easier to manifest things that already are.
Yeah,
and like
but it's
already
not
in
an entailment that you
existence.
can only manifest things which already are, right?
I mean, that's more so what we teach. We just want to align people with what's already existing. Like, none of our teachings are like creating
But how does that
something.
thing, which already is, come to you without you influencing the will of other people?
I don't know how to answer that.
Because it's
But,
impossible.
Yeah.
That would literally be impossible for me to manifest a thing which was a created thing of a human being who was not me to me without influencing their will. That would be impossible.
I don't know. I think we are thinking about this differently.
I think most definitely we're thinking about it differently.
but I don't know how to like rebut that.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a couple questions on this.
Sure.
So you guys sell the courses online, right? Or there's workshops and stuff I see here
Yeah.
on the website. So it's $30 a month, $360 for the year, and then $3,000 for a lifetime, I guess, membership for the
That's just like you own everything.
for all the courses. There's how to manifest, how to be magnetic, unblocked inner child, unblocked shadow.
Yeah, I wanted to get into that too when you're done.
Yeah, the daily practice, unblocked.
And I don't want to talk too much about the company.
money,
And I also want to
examine,
say
reprogram your
like,
relationship with the money.
yes, I work for the company, but like I'm not the founder and I don't have like the same views as the founder. So I also don't want to like make this
Okay.
too much about the company, but
No, I understand.
Sure, but
Yeah.
I'm only looking for things from your worldview.
okay.
Yeah, if it doesn't align with the company, but there's unblocked money, unblocked love, unblocked boundaries, rock bottom, next level, rut, extra layers, get clarity. So there's a lot of different courses and workshops. You mentioned this bike scenario. So you could manifest a bike.
Well, I just kind of Andrew is the one who said bike, but it made me think like one of my exes, he was manifesting rollerblades. And one day we were just walking.
As one does.
Yeah, we had just moved and we lived next to a park and he was like, oh, I really want rollerblades. And we went on a walk and sure enough, like just on the side of the street, kind of out by like where people would leave their trash, there was a brand new pair of rollerblades just sitting there and they fit him
Yeah.
perfectly.
So Well, I mean, look, I'll acknowledge that coincidences like this can be peculiar and interesting. You know, you'll think of somebody, for example, and then the next day you get a text from them, or you see them, or you know, you think about a certain thing, and it happens. But this is a bit of, I think, survivorship bias, because what about all the times you do wish for something, or you do think of something, and it never materializes? And then I am also curious about, but you do think that as far as this manifestation thing, it's not just sort of about, you know, your, there Andrew was kind of getting into it, you know, if you're a positive person, you'll attract positive circumstances into your life. I do think that there is some, I do think there is something to that, but you think it also pertains to actual physical manifestations in the world, like the bike, for example. That I really want this really cool bike to appear, and then a day later you're walking, and then there it is for free.
There's definitely no, like, I'm not saying that would happen for everybody, but basically,
who would it happen for?
I mean, like, with the rollerblades, like, that was just an example. Like, I literally think my ex had said it, and then on that same day we went for a walk and he found them. Like, he was really good at, like, saying things. And, like, it could be argued too, like, is it your intuition that's almost like dropping in, and you're like, oh, I want this, or I know this, and you're like kind of like a step ahead of yourself in, like, reality. I feel like that sometimes happens a little bit.
The id, the super ego.
Yeah.
So, and how long have you been doing the manifestation stuff?
So I've been working with the company for about 5.5 years, and
Okay.
I found the founder of the company like a year before. So like six and a half
And is
years
there,
specifically with her.
when it comes to manifestation, is there any upper limit as to what you can manifest into your life?
Yeah, so we like very much like when people start the course, or like, you know, don't think about the $1 million homes or the Ferraris or like anything like super crazy. Like, we definitely want people to get to know themselves first and sort of strip back those layers. Like, inner child and shadow are sort of our like number one courses we recommend after they learn how to manifest our like sort of process. And that's because there are a lot of layers that we pick up in childhood from 0 to 7 or like 0 to 14. That's when we really imprint our entire subconscious, and where we really pick up all of those limiting aspects. So basically the courses help you go back and look at that and then reprogram that, and that's when you start to get like a lot more magnetic, where things are just naturally flowing to you. Like, a lot of times you don't even necessarily have to be so specific, but
how does one, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, I just want to be somewhat specific. How do you tell someone to go back to hyperfixate on a memory? What's the process for something like that?
So she is trained in hypnosis. And so, yeah, it's like you get into a hypnotic state within these audios, and she sort of guides and leads you back.
Have you ever heard of a case? It was called the McMartin-McBuckey case. It was a huge preschool case. It was one of the largest investigations ever done for the trafficking of underage children, right? And they had a hypnotherapist who came in, and the hypnotherapist was able to take these children back into these states of their trauma and this and that. Turned out it was all bullshit. They had implanted the memories via hypnosis, and a ton of people got swept up in this case. They ended up being completely and totally vindicated, right? But interestingly enough, like hypnosis, for one thing, there's nothing about it which is scientifically rigorous at all. I think that perhaps there could be something to the fact that through discourse with somebody else, you can, you know, perhaps focus on some memories that you have or things like this. But let's say somebody was hypnotically suggestible, right? You could suggest things to them. And there's a small portion of the planet which has been scientifically demonstrated to be highly suggestible. What's stopping a person when they go in there from planting something there that doesn't belong there? Now we have a fake memory, or we have a problem now. Like, what's actually stopping a person from doing that?
Well, I think that's more like if you're in person with someone and they're guiding you, you should probably be very careful. But with the guided like audio meditations, listening at home, like, you're in full control. and like you just sort of follow what your subconscious and where your subconscious is taking you and trust that. So it's not like anybody is, you know, planting any other information. And like with her guided meditations too, she's not like leading you so specifically into something. Like it is a lot more loose, and it's like truly your body that is guiding you through this experience. So, but I know what you mean. I mean, I think hypnosis is incredibly powerful and can be really scary in some instances with like hypnotherapists who meet with you in person. To the few people who are
suggestible to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, so I guess going back, because in your notes you say using manifestation to call in aligned partners and dating opportunities.
Yes.
I'm confused again by this manifestation thing, because it seems like it goes beyond just, bringing positive outcomes to your life, but actually, in the, blanking on the word here, but in the, I can't think of the word, but, so you could manifest, for example, a bike.
Sure. Yeah. You can
Okay,
manifest like smaller things.
Oh, only small things.
No, I'm just saying you could manifest
Isn't
things
it just
like
about
that, like
changing your
items.
mindset, like when it comes to that stuff, rather than like it's just gonna appear in front of me? Like I feel like manifestation, like if you think positively, then you'll work for it. Like in my head, I'm like, I want a bike, so I'm gonna like wake up and then make some money and then go buy the bike, rather than like it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
a bike is in front of me.
It's like action steps, kind of. Is what
Yeah,
you're
like
more
that.
example.
Rather, because isn't that just the same of the? Isn't that just the same as like a self-help book, where it's kind of like, you know, it's anyone can read it, but it's really like you're already putting the work in to change your mindset, like buying the course someone wants to better themselves.
I mean, it's definitely all like I think related and similar, because you reading that self-help book or you taking positive actions towards your goals, those are all positive things that you're reinforcing in your mind, that I want this and like that you deserve it. But where people get caught up is a lot of times they consciously want something or consciously feel worthy or deserving of something, but their past reality doesn't reflect that, and it's like their subconscious mind that doesn't feel worthy of that. So like we really believe that your entire
So you have to feel
Hold
worthy.
on. Okay, can I just ask you a question? I'll just ask this point blank. Does manifestation work?
I think it does, because I have manifested things and that like were very specific.
I mean, if it works, why aren't you a billionaire?
Well, I mean, I have like so.
Because she doesn't want to be. Duh.
Conscious said no.
No, but
Yeah,
I
my
mean,
subconscious
it
said
occurs
no,
to me, if you
but-
can manifest,
Manifest that.
if you can manifest yourself something on
No.
a small scale,
Why can't
would
you
you
go
not be
that
able to
big?
manifest something on the large
I mean,
scale?
there is something here where too, I think like as souls, we all have a specific destiny that we're kind of following as well.
Doesn't destiny
contradicts.
and manifestation
Yeah, they would
totally
negate each other.
conflict?
So I don't think that it necessarily does, but I mean, this is where sometimes I sort of diverge from our teachings too, because I do have some other spiritual beliefs as well, but like I don't personally, like authentically, I really don't want to be a billionaire in this lifetime. It's
See?
not something that I'm manifesting.
They always say the same thing. If they manifest, they're not millionaires because they don't want to be millionaires.
Well, I would want to be a millionaire. I hope that I will be one day, but not a billionaire. That's
Why-
like too
Why
much.
not a billionaire?
But
Why not?
Like, why
that's-
be the prince when you can be the king? I don't get it.
I know. Well, you guys all make like excellent points, but I think at the end of the day, like we're just putting out self-help tools that are helping people create a better reality for themselves and find their authenticity and
Well,
just more
I'm
like
not really-
attract more things that are in alignment with
Yeah,
what
but
they're
manifestation is like, okay.
wanting. Well, you're manifesting.
just-
You manifested this podcast. Like you're
No, I
also
didn't
worked for it.
manifest. I didn't
like
manifest this podcast. I took actions.
Well, yeah, but
to
action.
make this happen.
Action is a part of it.
So it's
like
just
you
what
have to
everybody
take
does.
action.
So it's
just
not-
your
I'm not
thought.
saying that you just wave a magic wand and all of these things appear.
No, but that is what you're saying.
No,
You
that's
said,
definitely not what I'm
I
saying.
really want a bike, and then you walk down the street.
Aligned
and then
action
there's a
is one of
bike.
our process steps. Like, so we have like kind of three main pillars of the work, and it's unblocking the subconscious limiting beliefs, expanding your subconscious to like show you that what you want is possible
it,
for yourself,
want it,
and then
do it.
aligned action is lastly is like you need to take aligned action steps and take the action to get there.
I feel like instead of like sitting down and like in your bed and listening to audio and taking like quizzes, you can
Yeah.
just like get up and like work for something. You know what I mean?
Well,
Instead.
yes. Yeah,
Do you
absolutely.
personally use your own course?
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I read a book that was saying that there's motivation and then there's actually discipline, self-discipline, so that you can have motivation every day, but it's do you have the self-discipline to get up and do it every day?
Can you manifest healing?
So we don't teach that like any like physical healing, but I personally have like I've
Wait, why
wanted,
don't you teach that?
well, because my founder doesn't want to get into, teaching that because
You
she hasn't figured that out specifically for herself.
I mean, wouldn't everything be within the purview of manifestation?
Yes.
Energetics or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, I personally have manifested things that have helped me on my healing journey and have helped me heal my body.
Journey.
Did you
Yes,
do
the
actions?
journey. I know you love
besides-
that word. Yeah.
Did you do actions though besides manifesting?
Yeah, absolutely.
So without the manifestation, would
tell.
you still just have done the actions and the same thing would have happened?
Well, the idea here is around. So this is what I think. I think that the conflate, it's a word concept fallacy. So when I talk to witches and warlocks and anybody who's invested in alternative theories of reality is what I would say. Every single time when I dive into the particulars, thank you. When I dive into the particulars, I find out that it's just the same shit that everybody does all day, right? And I go, oh, okay, that's the particulars. So the word concept fallacy comes in where, let me give you the example. Let us assume for a moment that you were a hunter, okay? And you would go every morning in November to go kill a deer like half of the state of Michigan does, okay? And when you did, you brought your lucky coin. And what made this coin lucky, and the reason you knew this coin was lucky, is when you were a kid and you were out with your dad and you were up in that tree stand and you saw the deer and you shot the deer. Well, you had that coin in your pocket. And so you were never going to forget that coin again, right? And you never did. Now, one day, of course, 10 years in, you forgot that coin. You took the shot. You missed the deer. Uh-oh. You didn't have that lucky coin, did you? Now you go home. You get that lucky coin. You go back out. And of course, well, like magic, you take out the deer. The question is...
Hail and well met. LOL Paladins donated $200.02. I manifested myself a hard, highly specialized and skilled job that I work 40 to 48 hours a week showing up for the past 20 years so that I could afford to support this podcast better than woman prattle.
Yeah, the question then becomes, is this really a magical talisman? Is a talisman itself...
I'm not claiming it to be magic.
Hang on.
Okay.
But let me explain.
Yes.
The question becomes, is this a magical talisman, right? Does it have some magical properties? Does it have some other worldly properties which literally enable you to become a mighty deer hunter? Or is it possible that you made a bunch of correlative mistakes in your brain and just decided that this thing has way more value than it does? You just like to have it with you because it makes you feel better. It's like a whoopee. Well, I would go with that option, right?
I would
and I'm sure
too.
that you would too.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about manifesting. It's the same exact.
It is.
It's the same exact
It's all
idea.
in your brain.
Yeah, it's the same exact idea. So
It's
the question
really-
is it just your whoopee?
I think that it is all in your brain, absolutely. And like we are saying, it is your subconscious mind. Like everything that we attract is within
What's
our
subconscious
subconscious
about
mind.
it?
Well, I mean, obviously there's things that come from our subconscious that then bring into our conscious awareness, but subconscious is a lot of things that we obviously don't have that awareness for. So like there are a lot of people who hustle and work their asses off and like work so much and like they're taking all of those actions, but yet they are still met with the same cycles and patterns or don't find the success that they're looking for. And I think there are ways you can rewire your brain a bit to like have better results.
Yeah, but this is just common business school practices, right? Like, oh, you're doing something over and over again, you're getting poor results. So let's take a look at the
Change it.
process
Yeah.
and change something in the
I mean,
process.
yeah.
How is that manifestation? So when you say manifestation, to me, that sounds like magic, right? We have energy somewhere which is being manipulated somehow in order to deliver something to
Yeah,
you.
I guess we don't like
right?
use that word in that sense, but I know most people kind of do.
Can I
But-
say something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so with manifestation, also it's the same thing as like kind of like affirmations. You speak
Sure.
something into existence, and then also
Yes.
the human brain is very crazy how
It's
it works. I've had an
powerful.
aunt that passed a lie detector test by telling her brain and training her brain that she didn't do something when she did it. You can make yourself believe you didn't do
But
something.
hang on. Lie detector tests don't work.
Well,
They're
I don't know, but
they're completely inadmissible.
There's people
in
that are
court.
like are an army of stuff that they
Polygraph
can
tests
still-
do not work.
They're trained to pass it.
What happens is the post-test interviews, the interviewer is trained to trick you into saying, why is it that you failed this question, this question, this question, in order to get you nervous enough to make
mess
confessionals.
up on- yes.
The polygraph test itself has never been a scientifically rigorous test, which is why they're totally inadmissible in court and they're nonsense. So when you say somebody trained themselves to beat a test, which everybody can beat, right?
Not
It's-
everybody
They just
really
worked
makes it.
on lying, so their nerves weren't up. To
Well, if I'm saying
test.
like they ask you like, oh, what color is my shirt? Oh, it's green. Oh, what is this? Oh, like it's, what's today? It's this
yeah,
day.
but it's
You
all
do-
all of this is highly
all nerves and stuff like that.
It's
But I'm
all
saying
highly
the-
interpretive, though.
Overall, I'm saying the human brain, like you're saying, manifestation. It's whatever the brain wants to convince itself of.
Real quick question though, what would you say is the difference? Because I know you're religious. What's the difference between like manifestation and prayer?
Yeah,
You know,
so
not in a
this
bad way, but
this
just
is
like
a
curious,
this is
yeah.
a great question, right? So, the way that I pray is I always just pray in thanks. That's it.
And
Like,
gratitude.
what do you mean? Like what?
I don't ask God for stuff. I just pray in thanks.
Okay.
thanks for what you already have.
Yeah.
No,
just
no,
like
just
gratitude.
thanks for existing.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, that's the thing. I think I pray about that more than anything. Is I just thank God for existing.
What about others that might say they're like praying that their living situation gets better, or like to be better financially?
Well, they're not really doing that. They're
Yeah.
supposed to. They're throwing themselves on the mercy of God
Yeah.
instead. In fact, it's the exact opposite of trying to control the will. It's doing the exact opposite. It's instead putting your will over to God in God's mercy. So He would be the guider here. It would not be you trying to control the will of even yourself or others, but rather putting yourself completely in the hands of God.
So you're saying it's not putting it out to energy in that case; it's putting it like in God's hands.
God.
Yeah.
I don't think
It would
God's
be-
will over
this
free
would be
will.
this would be the complete opposite.
Yeah.
That's why we would consider this to be an inversion, right? This would be so. I would think let's pretend for a second that you really could do this. That I really could like manifest something I wanted. What if I wanted you?
Maybe that's how my ex got me. I don't know.
Yeah, but
I'm not sure.
but
Like,
can
damn,
you
he got me.
can you manifest that?
We
wait, why? But why not?
We
Why
say
can't
you
you?
can't manifest specifics.
Why?
Well, also, yeah, the free will thing definitely.
Oh, the
comes
free
into
will.
play.
See what I mean?
But yeah.
But if I could, and this is the caveat, right? It's always the caveat. But if somebody could manifest that, wouldn't you say that was evil?
You
Wouldn't you
could.
say like I would be basically controlling you against your will, right?
manipulative, yeah, for sure.
But just all I'm asking you to do is take that thought to its logical conclusion. If I wanted that cup you had, if I wanted that pin in your pocket, if I wanted the dollar in your, it's all the same thing, isn't it? It's
put-
me manipulating you to get the thing that I want from you.
Who put those limits though on manifestation? Does
Yeah,
she know,
that's
or
the
does she
greatest
say- you know what I
question
mean?
of all,
Like, where
right?
does-
Why can't you manifest the person you want? Well,
I mean, it's all God. It's all free will. So
Yeah.
that's why God gave us free will. We're not puppets. We can't be. We're not robots. We're human. So that's why I feel like everybody's saying not to talk about manifestation, but I feel like everything is under God. So
Well, the reason this is actually important when you're talking about dating, it's actually been stunning to me how many women are into occultism, witchcraft, tarot cards, some form of magic use, even recreationally. It's astounding. And so if you think about the population of men who are religious inside the United States, it's massive. There's a massive population. Same with women. And so I think to myself, well, this is obviously very pertinent. People are religious. They're literally taught to stay away from that stuff. So if they're coming across women who are into it, it's always interesting to me to kind of hear the various reasons why, right? So I think it is pertinent to dating.